Well, hey, you made it. It's day 28 of our Voices series. And man, I want to congratulate you. I hope it has been inspiring. I hope it's changed you. I hope it's given you a new direction. I hope it's helped sustain you and encourage you in your walk with God. At RiverLake, that really is our heart and passion, is to make it easy for everyone to find and then follow Jesus. And that's really what this has been about. How do we follow? What does it look like? And how do we walk through all this? And throughout this series, throughout the last 4 weeks, we've had so many different people speak their favorite verses and what that looks like. And I wanted to take today, as we wrap it up, and share a verse that's near and dear to me of what might be your next step. It comes in the Old Testament, and if you know much about me, I'm a huge OT guy. I love the stories. They still speak to me to this day. And I say all the time, you got to find yourself in the story. And I want to look at a passage in 1 Kings. It's of a story of a man named Elijah and Elisha. Now, if those are confusing, that's okay. We're not going to spend a lot of time on their names. But what happens is powerful. Elijah is at the end of his rope. He is leaving the ministry, so to speak. He's getting ready to die, and he's passing on the mantle to this guy named Elisha, this person who was going one direction, and Elijah's going to say something, and his whole world's going to change. You may not know this, but I hope that's happened to you. That's been part of my prayer through this Voices series, is that somebody's verse, somebody's passage would speak to you in such a way that your direction would change, that you would go, man, I was going this direction, and God really convicted me, and God challenged me to step into a new direction. But just because you know the direction doesn't mean you know how. And that's where this passage really comes into play. 1 Kings 1:19 says this, "So Elijah went from there and found Elisha, son of Shaphat. He was plowing with 12 yoke of oxen, and he himself was driving the 12 pairs." So they got some money, okay? He's got his life set. It's awesome. If you got that many oxen, you're golden, okay? He's not poor. He's well off. He's got a great job, and he's the last guy. He's managing it all. He's got a sweet ride. And Elijah shows up on the scene, and it says this, Elijah went up to him and threw his cloak around him. Elisha then left his oxen and ran after Elijah. "Let me kiss my father and mother goodbye," he said, "and then I will come with you." The cloak was his mantle that Elijah was saying, no. Hey, listen, I know you got these plans for your life over here. God's got a different plan for you. Let's go. And I love Elijah's response. He's like, wow, he doesn't hesitate. He goes, man, this is so incredible. God's got a higher calling for me. Let me go kiss my parents goodbye, and I'm with you. And that really is, I believe, the call of every follower of Jesus. That when God shows up in a way, no matter what our plans are, no matter what happens, when he puts that mantle, that cloak around us, our response should be, oh man, that was going to be great, but God, I'm going to trust you got something better over here. I'm going to follow you. But again, it's easy to know kind of the direction. It's hard to know how to get there. And maybe that's what you're struggling with. Maybe like day 1 or 2 or the first week, you felt a different direction, but you've been struggling to get there. You've been struggling to get past, like, how do I do that? Or maybe you started it and stopped it. I love what it says next. "So Elisha left him and went back. He took his yoke of oxen and slaughtered them." Feels extreme, okay? The oxen that was just his it was moneymaker, okay? That was what was plowing the fields. He kills the oxen. He burned the plowing equipment to cook the meat and gave it to the people, and they ate. Then he sent out and followed Elijah and became his servant. Here's the powerful part about this. I love this. He burned the plows. See, Elijah knew there was no going back. Elisha knew that, you know what, man, if I still have my plows, if I still got my oxen, I might be tempted to go back to it. When it gets tough, I might be tempted to go back into an old calling and an old ministry that God has actually called me to graduate from. And so what he does is he's like, I'm burning the plows. I want nothing to go back to. I'm going to give it away. I'm going to give the meat away. I'm going to burn the plows. I'm going to move forward and make sure I have nothing to go back on. God, I'm all in on your vision for my life. I love that. I think that's what holds us back too often is we get this call and we're like, man, I'm supposed to start to do something new. I'm supposed to maybe step into a new role, a new job, a new financial commitment, or maybe a new relationship. I'm supposed to walk away from a bad relationship or walk away from a habit. But what happens is, man, isn't it true? I know it is for me. I love to keep my options open. I don't want to, I was told all my life, don't burn bridges. And maybe we shouldn't burn bridges, but I can tell you we should be burning some plows. And we need to burn some stuff in our past. We need to burn the things that, you know what, God has called us to move on from. And so I don't know what it is for you. I don't know where God's calling you to go. I really do hope over the last 28 days, man, God spoke to you in a real way. That God's continued to move in you and you are challenged to step into something greater. But I want to challenge you, burn the plows. Whatever's holding you back, whatever's old, whatever God's called you to move away from, listen, as long as it's still there, there will be a temptation for you to go back to it. But that temptation is to go back to something lesser than what God has for your destiny. And so as we wrap up this series, Voices, I want to, hopefully you're going to allow me to speak into your life one last time as we do this and encourage you, burn the plows. Don't go back. Don't waste this season, but really step into your new destiny, the greater thing that God has called you to do. Because as we do that, man, it's incredible what God does through us. The story of Elisha is actually greater than that of Elijah. Most of us know Elijah in the Old Testament, fire from heaven, but as you read the Old Testament, you discover that Elisha was way more powerful and did way more miracles because he burned the plows. He didn't allow his past to prevent him from stepping into his future. And that is my hope and prayer for you. So I hope this 28 days has been incredible for you. I hope it's encouraged you. I hope it's inspired you. And I hope more importantly that you are stepping into who God has ultimately called you to be. God bless. We'll see you soon.